Hello, I'm Greg Harrison with USDA Market News Service here in St. Joe, Missouri with your National Feeder Cattle Summary this week. Well, looking at feeder cattle this week compared to last week, start the week, calves and yearlings pretty much selling $5 to $15 lower. Then at midweek, we've seen some a little bit better market. A lot of calves and yearlings trading steady to $5 lower, and a lot of cases too, it was on lighter receipts. There was even some cases on Kearney, Nebraska on Wednesday called their big 800-pound yearling steers $1 to $3 higher. So saw a little bit over the last couple of weeks. We've seen such a huge sell-off in this market. You know, like last week it was $15 to $25 lower, spots 30, even 35 lower. You know, it just maybe we found some spots where where the market has firmed up a little bit, and of course on these yearling cattle, it's the good kind of yearlings with good weighing conditions, and on calves it's the long time weaned calves. Feeding conditions are also becoming muddy, very muddy and challenging, and as if the market hasn't been challenging enough, we've got some weather factors in here now. A lot of heavy rains. It's turned nasty with heavy rains and snow throughout the southern plains, northern plains, and parts of the Midwest. Feedlot conditions are getting worse, and this has an idea of declining weights and loss of performance and higher cost of gain. Buyers continue to be very cautious on buying feeder cattle. The futures market is taking another hit this week with heavy losses, and it just really weighs like a lead balloon on this market as well. As the feeder cattle futures continue to lose ground, they lose ground compared to the live cattle futures. That's because really with the dismal feedlot margins and large equity losses mounting, like on start the week on Monday, we've seen huge losses in the live and feeder cattle futures. Seems like over the last several weeks it starts the week with pretty sharp losses, and it just seems to be the path of least resistance there. Cattle futures and feeder cattle futures and live cattle futures continue to experience very little support in the rallies, and usually if there is any support, it's followed by huge losses the next day, and just showing very little interest, open interest in the market. The whole cattle complex as a whole seems to have just kind of wore out its welcome as we come to an end of the year of this 2015, and with all the volatility that we've seen in the futures market and the cash market, and as the month of December has arrived, it's just become the Grinch who stole Christmas, and especially for the people in the cattle business. And all these started really back in early fall and has continued, and for the most part spring can't come soon enough for a lot of the cattlemen. Choice box beef also this week really got off to a rocky start on Monday. Choice box beef closed $3.72 lower. It fell below the $200 mark, and pretty much has had losses for the rest of the week. And it's starting to look like that most end users have bought or booked all their needs through the holiday season, and hopefully retailers will have a fire sale after the holiday season is over, as these prices have declined, and hopefully it'll give beef demand, help stimulate beef demand. And looking at some regional weighted averages this week in the north central region, 600-700 pound steers running about $5 lower than last week at $163.30. 700 to 800 pounds, $7 lower at $152.42, and 800 to 900 pounds running about $6 lower at $144.99. In the south central region, 500 to 600 pound steers, $6 lower at $168.80. 600 to 700 pounds running about $6 lower at $152.19, and 800 to 900 pounds running about $3 lower at $145.29. Southeast regions, 400 to 500 pound steers running about $7 lower at $170.41, and 500 to 600 pound steers running about $4 lower at $154.62. Well, all of us here at Federal, State, and Market News Service want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, filled with joy and blessings, as next week we'll be taking next week off and be back with you in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening. Have a Merry Christmas.